day in the city where day has very little meaning. In the first hour, the embers of the sun were a dim light, and then it's back to the dark that permeates every single corner of Duskfall. People keep milling about, clutching to their charms, and hoping that no ghosts attack them, and that they don't fall prey to one of the many gangs that fight amongst themselves throughout the different districts of the city. We are going to move on through the different shops and hovels and noise and machinery onto Thistle. Who is Thistle? Angie, would you like to tell us who Thistle is and what she looks like? Angie?
Hi. Sorry
Hello.
about that. Um, Thistle is look. Right. Thistral or Thistle is Tikeros? Am I pronouncing that right?
She is
Heritage
Taikarosi, yes.
Hikerosi. There we go. With a background in the underworld, and her demon tell is she has feathers instead of where humans would normally have hair. He's just arrived, literally, to these docks, and trying to reinvent herself and not quite sure where to go next, but she's trying to fake it or swindle someone so she can get an awesome place to stay, at least for the first week.
Mhm. And so is that what she's doing this morning? Trying to
Absolutely.
figure out. Um,
Yeah,
okay,
I want to find out what the
so
most reputable place is in the nicest part of town. Walk in like I own the place and have them treat me accordingly.
all right. Is that
It goes my
something?
way.
Is that something you'd like to attempt?
Yes.
Okay, roll me a consort with it's risky but limited. It's risky, not desperate, but it has limited effect. So this is where the action system of Blaze and Dark comes into play. I can determine how risky or what might the consequences be for this action, and I also determine how effective a thing like that has the potential of being, has the potential to be.
Okay.
And then you roll those dice, and that determines both whether you succeed and whether I get to inflict consequences on your character.
Okay. So I
Um,
have 1 dot in consort. Would that mean I have
exactly.
1 bonus dice?
It means you roll one die
Okay.
and hope
So no
you can
bonus.
exactly. You can
Okay.
increase your dice by. Oh wow, where did that come from?
Um, okay. I don't even see where it went, to be honest. I clicked on my character sheet, which is over here. I clicked on consort on the right, and then input values came up, and I clicked
Holy
submit.
crap!
And
I had no idea. That is awesome.
It
isn't
must be
that
a
rad?
feature of the sheet. That's really cool.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna also say you can also in the future you will be able to add dice if someone is helping you.
Okay.
and if you'd like to either pay stress or take a devil's bargain, which is where I give you an extra die, but inflict some kind of basically I give you a deal essentially. You get to have an extra die, but something in the story happens to give it a little spice.
Okay.
But yeah, so we have a 3 for that consort roll. That means it's a failure. Get
Great.
what you set out to do,
No, I'm a
Well,
little
I'm a little
and
sheltered
sheltered despite thinking I'm a badass, and I don't know this town at all. So maybe I walked into the morgue. It's
maybe.
probably a fancy house.
Is that the way you would like Thistle to fail?
Something appropriate like that. Yeah.
Okay.
She does not know this
Town,
town.
this culture, anything.
Mhm. So Thistle walks into the fanciest taverns she could find, um, barges into the door, and says, "I'm here for your finest room." And what does she? What kind of? How does she try to? How does she? How does Thistle actually try to? What? How does she try to get them to give her a chance to give her a room?
Oh, easy. I remember a party I went to 3 months back, with a visiting noble person that I never saw again and was from a place I'd never really heard of, so I used their name under the assumption that nobody else had heard of them either. Anyway, so I name drop and pretend to be them and, uh try to speak to the manager and demand, "Why do I not have my reservation in my room prepared already?" and cause a stink and try to embarrass them until they let me in.
And what is his name?
Um, Russ March,
Wes Smart.
the 42nd.
What?
42nd, there were 42 of them.
Okay. Wes March, the 42nd. So, um, the so people kind of look at you strangely, and unfortunately, Lord Marsh has recently taken an interest in leviathan hunting, a very dangerous profession. But he decided that nothing was beyond his capabilities, and he spent a lot of money to get together a leviathan hunting fleet that he could go on himself and sail out beyond the lightning barrier, and he has not been seen since.
Yeah,
Which
so they don't know what this person looks like, but also I have no realization that this is probably a gendered male name, and I come in like, "Yeah,
you also going to be that person.
yeah, yeah, yay."
Okay. Which is very confusing to many people.
Yeah. I'm like, "I don't
Um,
know that I'm not supposed to look like a Boris."
then that Thistle gains a little bit of a clock that's going to start ticking,
Awesome.
and it's going to be called Thistle is pissing off the. I'm going to call it Thistle is pissing people off.
Awesome.
And it's going to be a clock, which is what I'm going to use to track the many developing conditions um, that are going to happen as you interact with the world.
Okay. Well, maybe they know me as Boris, and Boris is pissing people off. No, no, they know that dude's gone. Hmm.
So I'm going to make this a 6. I am bad at drawing circles, but I'm going to mark 2. Since this was a risky roll, I will mark 2 little slices which are not evenly distributed, but forget about it, on this little
It's all
clock
right.
to mark the fact that Thistle is progressively getting Thistle is pissing people off throughout Duskfall.
Someone's gonna notice.
But does Thistle keep searching for a place to stay though?
Yeah, I don't know anyone, and I'm desperate for a place to stay, and I don't want it to seem like I am.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I think my mic was muted that whole time.
Oh
I
yeah.
just wanted to call your attention to we have quite a few clocks already started thanks to the run we did last time, and B, if you scroll up, I think you can scroll up in the D20 interface, you get to see all of our terrible, terrible rolls.
Nice.
Yeah. I did mark some of I did delete some of them from last session because I feel they're no relevant, but a bunch are still irrelevant, and I will continue ticking them as things. Well, as things keep happening. You find an inn that's affordable, but not too bad, and you might, it's not the worst place in town. You might be able to maintain your high standards there, well, to the best of your ability. Called the Leaky Tap.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I
you
get a
know,
room with a door?
yes,
Yes.
it's perfect. Um,
See, if I aim really high for a room with a tub, I might get a room with a door.
exactly. Um, and what do you do when you reach the Leaky Tap?
Hmm.
There are many people there. There's actually particularly one person who catches your eye. It's this person with an eye patch who is just everyone loves this person. Kind of like he's talking to different people. He buys people rounds. He leads people in songs. That's kind of the person who most catches your eye now. This kind of like eye patch wearing this
Okay.
odd eye patch wearing person.
He will regret this night later, I think, canonically.
I know,
Yes.
right? Um, someone with an eye patch is someone with a story at the very least, and they're offering free booze. I'm gonna move closer and watch how people interact with him. Who knows him? Who doesn't?
All right.
And
So
hope
that
for
person
free
is
booze. Because I got my free room, I want my free booze and maybe dinner.
all right. So that person is Terry. Terry, you see. So I actually let's say that we are. When are we right now? Are we before or after the melancholy box job?
I think we are. This is the time where I was working off the heat post job,
Okay.
spending a lot of our cash on getting on people's good side.
Right. Yeah. Let's say it's that night, and yeah, you see, the league that usually has its regulars, and even people who aren't regulars, they're usually around the docks. But you see someone new tonight. It's this woman with feathers for hair, and she is how. What kind of Angie? What kind of attitude would you say this has?
Oh, well, I should let you in on like I kind of piss people off on the boat coming over here too.
Hmm.
So I kind of had to fend for myself the last, I don't know, how long could I swim? Um, so I'm not happy. I'm not friendly. I need new clothes and I'm really hungry. Someone who was brought up like this, I've never felt like this before. So hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for comfort, but also willing to take advantage of people to get it.
At the moment,
It
well,
could be
Terry
in a
is.
hug.
Uh, yeah. Terry is mid-verse singing, "My favorite kind of drunk is when I'm kind of drunk, because we're kind of drunk." He doesn't know how that verse ends, but everyone's singing along in various levels of audibility, so he's just making it work. And his one good eye is, looking around, just looking at the whole room, saying like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know that guy. She's there, isn't she? Like all right, give you just mentally thinking. All right, give me a second here. I got to work my way over." Okay, so so in Terry's mind, new people mean people that don't have any connections usually, and people that don't have any connections often need connection, and he is a connection of connections. And also, he's a little intoxicated, and here's this crazy girl with feather hair. So it says, "Hello, miss. Hey, have you had a pint yet?"
Oh.
"Would you like a pint?"
3, thanks.
All right. You're my new favorite person tonight. 3 pints for the. What's your name, dear?
Thistle.
3 pints for my new best friend Thistle, eh?
Cheers, thank you.
Goes over to get it all poured out. I thought yes was the correct answer, but I think you found an even better one. Now, my eye might be deceiving me, but I don't think I've seen you here in this part of the city before.
Oh no. I'm kind of slumming it.
Nah, slumming it. Slumming. Do you hear that? Hear that? She's slumming it with us. Is it? Oh yeah. Oh, you're great.
Shit.
You're brilliant. All right.
What's
I
your
am
best
also
song?
drinking beer in real life, so I'm doing my own Foley work.
Of course. I'm like that's either tea or a pint, and I am down.
Oh, you know Terry too well. All right. Yeah, I'm a tea by morning, pint by evening person myself. And what brings you here?
Tell me about this place. Who hangs here?
I mean, what you look is what you get. WYSIWYG, we say on these shores. This is I have forgotten the name of this place. It is the
The Leaky Tap.
The Leaky Tap. That's right. Thank you, sir. It's well, right now it's the happiest place in the city. So you done well for yourself for a visitor.
Is it good booze? Is the Leaky Tap leaky in the patron's favor because there's more ale, or?
Oh, you're great. Oh, I love this. Oh, you're precious. Oh. Listen. What's your most imminent need?
Out of character, that's hard to answer.
What kind of work is Thistle looking for? She doesn't
Well, I've done a little protection before.
All right.
Yeah, I may not look muscular, but just showing up with looking like I do can put people at unease.
Thistle's a whisper too, right?
Yeah.
So how do you succinctly put that to strangers when they ask?
Whisper is also an in-universe term for someone who specializes in.
Oh, okay.
So you could say I'm a so that actually applies to all of the playbooks. They are also in-universe slang among the Duskville underworld for people who do these things. So you can refer to your character class in character, and it can make sense.
There has got to be a equivalent of a Facebook quiz. Which character type are you?
Hey, I'm wondering if I would have a tell without saying a thing.
What kind of tell? What would you like to tell?
Like, you've got feathers.
Tattoo, particular jewelry, My clothes will be ruined.
Let's look. Actually, a good place to start would just be
I smell
link.
like ghosts.
I mean, also look at your character sheet. You have access to a bunch of magical
Is
equipment
is
other
that
classes
ode
don't
to
have.
Spectra that I smell?
Right,
Um,
see?
you
Distinctive.
have you have electroplasm. You have access to electroplasm vials. You have access to a spirit mask. Are you carrying any of those? Are you carrying any of that magic? So you have access to all this magical equipment. Are you carrying any of it on your person?
Actually, I specialize in rituals, so I probably have at least a little cheat book on me.
All right. So yeah, you have the equipment. You
Yeah,
have the books.
I've been known to dabble in a ritual or two.
Ah.
So how does that what is your way of presenting this information to the bar?
The bar or to one
Well,
person?
I'm sitting there. I'm envisioning this like I'm just sitting across the table for you, but there's people just coming and going, and I don't think anyone else is really paying attention to us.
Oh, okay. Um, hmm. I have the proper equipment on me to conduct a ritual or two. I've done some spirit trafficking.
Oh, spirit
You know,
traffic.
brazen.
Spirit trafficking. Well, that is a pretty brazen thing to say. Spirit tracking.
What's
Spirit
where the
tracking.
money is.
Oh, so I've heard. So I've heard. So I've heard. And you're seeing right now the equations kind of dance around Terry's face right now, doing that whole like mental math thing. Yeah. Eh. Hmm. Have you ever played? Here, stop me if you've heard this one. Have you ever heard of Liar's Dice?
Yes.
Hmm. All right. So, this doesn't have to be on camera. We can, we don't even have to get really into the results. But
Yeah.
Terry's, he's sizing her up, and she's wondering how much of a poker face she has. So
Hmm.
he's calling some people to play some bluffing games.
Okay, that makes sense. How do we want to do this? My goal is to if Thistle if the narrative is that Thistle is just arrived in Duskfall.
Sorry, I think you're cutting out. I'm not sure.
Oh, so if Thistle has just arrived in Duskfall, I do want to get her in with the Phantom Thieves, and I'd also like to move into Andrew and
Okay. Okay.
as you know get the so how do we want to play out this scene is the question.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is I feel like at some points where he is significantly more drunk, but he's like listen. Um uh all right. Hey, listen. I got some people that yeah, we're going to want to talk to you. So where can we find you tomorrow morning?
Uh, Hook me up at the bar with dinner and breakfast in the morning, and I'll meet you for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Uh all right. All right. Um I gotta warn you. Dinner and breakfast at the bar is exactly the same food. Uh,
Oh, is it a vodka and a cigarette, or was that the last
uh,
10?
all right, you got the right idea. There are no warnings necessary. There. All right. I'll set you up, and I'll bring my associates. That's all right, right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, all right. I'll see you then. Eh, oof.
All right. And meanwhile, we're also that's well, that was Thistle's day today in Duskfall, and well, on Terry's evening. But we're going to actually move on to Andrew. Is so what's Andrew's state? Is Andrew already with the Phantom Ferryman at this point? Or
I think the idea was he actually came on the same ship that Thistle did, and so they were previously acquainted. Just that.
okay. So
Did you
right.
throw me overboard?
What?
No.
Oh, all right.
All right, just checking.
I did forget about that, but we did say that. So, how do we want to do this? Did
It might make sense that if she's looking for work, she would know that I was looking for work too, and would have
yeah.
asked me to meet up at breakfast too.
All right. So we have so yeah, that makes sense. Is that Angie, is that a thing Thistle would do? Angie?
Yes. Sorry, I think it cut me off.
So yeah, does this she got with Andrew, who was on the same boat and also kind of new in the city looking for work, not strictly legal work.
And he goes by a drifter, and this is what he looks like. And he's very much a pirate. He looks like
Okay.
a pirate, acts like a pirate.
Makes sense. So the question is to Angie, does Thistle share the lead with Drifter?
Yes.
Yes. Okay then. So, and just to kind of recap, what has Drifter been doing his first day in the city? What kind of thing does Drifter do?
He actually, his previous mission, which is part of why he wanted to get off being on the ocean all the time, get more on the land, was seeing a huge Leviathan attack that wiped out a Leviathan hunter ship. And so he actually wanted to get a tattoo, and he heard that there was somebody in town that did Leviathan tattoos.
Oh, there is one tattooist on the docks who, well, generally she's considered one of the best tattoo artists in Duskfall, if not the Shadow Isles. But she's particularly noted for her rich, weird drawings of things from the sea, especially Leviathan.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Her name is Triss. However, she's famous for only taking in clients who have seen a Leviathan and lived to tell the tale. And if you want a
Right.
tattoo for her, in addition for payment, you must tell her that story.
Yeah,
That's a tricky
be.
business model.
That's what he
Huh?
wants to do for his first day.
Okay. So, so yeah, you enter Triss's shop. And it's actually pretty packed, especially one person. People are talking shit, like the kind of people are telling different tall tales. There's a big line. There's a kind of a felt curtain that separates the waiting area and Triss's workspace, and people are just sitting there talking. Do you? What do you do?
I think you'd kind of scope it out a little bit and hang out, like not interrupt or anything, and just see how things kind of work.
So you sit around for a bit, and eventually Triss comes out. She herself is a heavily tattooed woman. Again, she's partic she it looks she like she might have designed many of her own tattoos. The motifs she are famous for are just visible on her own body. Very intricate drawings of waves and sea monsters and iron ships. Adorn both her sleeves and her shoulders. She talks to different people. A lot of people she knows. She points them out, asks how they've been, and then she notices you. And she says, Haven't seen you around before. You here for a tattoo?
I am. I just recently came off a ship and have a tale to tell.
Wonderful. Your clothes, your accent, you're from the Dagger Isles, aren't you?
That's correct.
Oh, that's great. Those people have some lovely stories. So, how about you wait here and I'll have a slot for you coming right up.
Sure.
Great. So, few customers later, it is your turn. You walk through the kind of current into Trish's workspace. It's kind of she has a few very strategically placed electroplasmic lights so that she can, just light the area she's working to the way she likes it. There's a couple of chairs and a few cabinets with different supplies and inks. Triss sits on one chair. She looks at you and smiles. It's great to have you. Sit down.
He takes a seat.
And once you do, she motions you to tell. So, you said you have a tale to tell me. I'd love to hear it.
It's the final thing that my last journey that I think made me decide to retire to the city and here to live permanently. And he'll tell the story about how they were out just on a merchant ship doing outside the lightning barrier, doing something, shady. And they saw a Leviathan hunter, and I don't know what all the Leviathans look like exactly. They kind of match Earth marine stuff?
What? You cut out.
Do the Leviathans kind of match marine life on Earth? Like, what do they look like? Are they like?
No, the Leviathans are on Earth. They are first of all, they're bigger than anything on Earth, right?
Yeah, but are they like? Do they have similar versions?
And they're bigger than anything on Earth, and also they have anatomical features that and also when I say big, know that Leviathan hunters generally they don't hunt down the Leviathans, right? They rarely kill them. Their goal is more to harvest their blood.
Right.
They're too big and well, they're very hard to kill. So the goal is actually not to get noticed, and they have many anatomical features that you wouldn't see on a. They're kind of they're eldritch. They're eldritch and odd and yeah, like they kind of resemble what we might consider a fish, but their anatomy is much stranger. They have eyes where they shouldn't. They have strange appendages, and they're not the size of any earthly marine creature.
Okay, so what I'm imagining is they sighted like a Leviathan hunter ship harvesting the Leviathan, and it was like something the size of the ship itself that were pulling blood from, and they somehow got the attention of like an even bigger that came up and just destroyed the ship and killed the other Leviathan, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's a story. You got there.
Yeah, something along those lines. And they just managed to escape and were small and fast and just got the heck out of there.
Okay, so Triss Triss nods and listens to your story, and she considers, and this gives me some ideas. She quickly kind of works out. She has many different rolls of parchment. She takes them out and starts sketching. And while she's sketching, she talks to you and says, "Yes, I think I can draw you. What kind of design would you like? What kind of tattoo do you want?"
I was thinking something like a kraken for the chest area.
All right, I can do that. I can do that. Quickly finishes the sketch she's doing and starts another one. Her mind she's like thinking of maybe different ways she could do it. And oh yeah, and I'll need And of course, I'll need a few silvers to actually do the work. Patris, I'm not gonna keep track of like small transactions in this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a more abstracted coin resource. But so for this, you don't need to pay. Drifter pays for that tattoo, and he gets a nice big kraken on his chest. From
Perfect.
Triss.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so you later so after that you're still at the docks. It's much later in the evening, and you run into Thistle, who you talk to on the way here. She is not where you thought she would be, since last you saw her, she headed off into Duskfall's nicer districts, and you're not the way she met you because you have a new tattoo. But yeah, it's first time. It is the first. But yeah, it's the first time you are running into each other since you've both been on the ship heading to Duskfall, or since you just got off.
Well, he definitely wants to show off the tattoo to anybody that'll look.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
how
hey,
does
cool! I didn't drown.
what?
It's good that you made it to shore.
Yeah. So yeah, Thistle shares the lead of the. Does Thistle share the lead of the job? Right? Is that something we agree on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and the next day we have Thistle and Drifter meeting the Phantom Ferrymen at the Leaky Tap. What kind of how is everyone approaching this meeting? I'm gonna start with Drudo. You heard there might be some work for new people. How are you approaching this meeting?
So I had been probably told a little bit about the subject of spirit smuggling as kind of a preface before this meeting. So I'd have probably taken a little bit of time to go over notes and research and stuff related to that, and trying to figure out, if we were going to get into that sort of thing, what are our viable like limits and thresholds before we'll have too much spirit on board for our electroplasmic lighting to actually kind of ward the ghosts off.
Okay. Terry, how are you approaching this meeting?
So I'd probably also have like a book and continue with that while I'm there. I should just continue there. But very, very much like coming with a notepad and coming with, documents and things to kind of tease out the math and the mechanics of everything as the conversation goes on. Or at least that's kind of what he's thinking it's going to be. He doesn't, have any real idea of exactly what to expect here.
Fair enough. So Zara just sitting there with his book and kind of mathing things out.
Yeah.
All right. So Zara sits there with his book. He is deeply focused. And meanwhile, we're gonna kind of pan our camera across the table. What is Terry up to? How is Terry approaching this meeting? Alex, you're muted if you are talking.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, I was as I just said to a muted microphone, you are an excellent foil for Terry, who didn't do any of that shit. He's having a rough time. He's got the shakes. Like it's not it. I've realized that my harm condition is kind of close to what the whole stress thing is supposed to be about. So I'm trying to like figure out how it's different. He's just got the shakes. He's still got the shakes, and he just had a long night where he drank to excess for the sake of getting everyone to like him, and he just had to suddenly lose even more cash bailing that one guy out of prison who barely even acknowledged him while he left. And he's just like, okay, his attitude is something's got to change. we can't keep doing the way things are doing. We got to maybe do some recruitment here.
Okay, so across the table is Thistle, who you walk in to see. Terry, like the opposite of what he was last night. The happy everybody's friend that was buying everyone is now much more stress and a lot less drunk too. This is the morning after. And near him is someone you haven't met before who is poring over some books and documents, trying to discern something. How is Thistle approaching this meeting?
So everyone's there now, right? And I have only met 2 of them before.
Yes, it's you and Drifter meeting Terry and Zop.
Right. So since I met Terry and he promised me breakfast, I am going to introduce Drifter to Terry and as I'm not going to give an explanation. This is part of my
he's a tracker, right? He is
yeah.
Drifter's a hound. He can survey, he can if those are
Yeah, and it seems to me like I just looked at the picture. It's probably pretty obvious the leaning of his skills based on how he's dressed.
yeah. You'll see.
And well, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, lad. Internally, Terry is thinking, all right, so Captain fucking Jack Sparrow is here. Great. Whatever, we'll run with this. And in other circumstances, I might be a little perturbed that random people entered our meeting, but really, honestly, that's fine right now.
Yeah.
But also, what have you guys been through to be so desperate as to hire me?
You don't
Wait,
want
do
to
you
know
say
that
in character?
I'm asking I don't know. Let's point this question at the guy who hasn't looked up from the books.
To be honest with you, it just seems like a worthy challenge. Dealing in these sorts of materials, it's definitely of interest, and certainly knowing the limitations and being able to experiment them around them certainly improves my craft.
Okay. Does
Though,
it pay well?
oh, I
Or
thought you were going to
money,
tell us about that.
influence?
The money flows. Let me
Oh.
tell you that. Sorry, that was Australian. Money flows. I gotta watch this. The money flows. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Flows in, flows out.
Money does that.
Right.
So, and how does and Drifter, what are you hoping to what are you hoping to get out of this?
Drifter is just all smiles and laughter. He says that he's got good eyes and a great shot, and he's looking for work too. And then he's got a shadowy ghost bird on his shoulder named Shadow.
Ooh, that's
kind
definitely a conversation piece.
Yeah, that's probably remarkable.
But yeah, would you like to continue the scene, or would you like to move? Would you like to just agree that they join, or would you like to?
Well, okay. Here's what I'm going to say. All right. Here's the skinny. We live in a house. We live in a boat that doesn't float. We have another one. We go out. We ship ghosts in. It's dangerous work. That's dangerous work. We might not survive. We get money, we lose money. There's a lot of unrest, and you don't get hazard pay. You in or out?
In.
Sounds pretty good to me.
All right.
All right.
Come with us. Or no, I think we would more like, hey, all right, meet us at this. I give you the address and say meet us there later. Just like
Yeah.
let's let him finish their breakfast.
Makes sense. So yeah, the Phantom Ferrymen have doubled in size. So we are going to move a little bit later when Terry gets a visit from Florence Macedva, the young noblewoman
Oh,
who has been known to get in contact with Terry for, access to some of, well, the things she actually can't get at the night market and in
Right.
Duskwall's finer districts.
Terry's pretty happy to see her.
Yeah. So,
I what does he call Florence?
what does he call Florence?
I think he's got some cutesy nickname like like hey there, lovebird. I want to stress, like, there's nothing between these people. They consider each other friends, but he calls her lovebird anyway, just because he thinks that's cute. And also, she tends to fly out of her cage a lot.
Yeah. Terry, it's been, well, okay. I must be completely candid. I am not here on my usual business. I have, well, an urgent matter, and I think it might be in your line of work.
A lot of things are in my line of work. You know this.
Of course. Well, where do I start? It's start a few months ago. No. Well, I met this most wonderful man.
Lovebird, Florence. Then what happened?
Well,
Come
we
on.
had a lovely few months together, and well,
Yes.
I've known many, and I know what people say that I move forward, but I think it was real love, and then, well, he got hit by a carriage,
Oh.
and well, it's terrible, really, and the spirit wardens, they're going to take him. They're going to take his corpse. They're going to dissolve him. They're going to dissolve what's left of my light, and I need you to take him and bring his essence back to me, so I have him. I have something of him.
Oh. Okay. I, the player, might need a little more reminder of the background here. So he's hit by a carriage. I assume that he's dead.
He is dead.
He is dead. He is a ghost, probably then.
Yep.
Okay. And what happens if they
he will
dissolve his
become a
body?
ghost.
He's just gone.
So he is a future ghost.
Okay, so he hasn't quite left the building yet. Okay, and we just have to siphon the ghost out of him, I guess, into something.
There's a service in Duskwall where they round up corpses, send them to facilities where they get dissolved in basically soul dissolving fluid, right?
I see.
She does not want that to happen to him because she knows his spirit is still in there. And she wants to be reunited with him, even though he's dead.
Okay.
Because he's not going to stay completely dead forever. So, really, she wants the corpse.
Okay. All right. So, the smile's pretty much knocked out of him at this point. He's just like, okay, well, all right, give me the information. How much do you know right now?
Well, he died in, well, we were around the night market when this happened, and...
Oh, are you with him when he died?
We were, well, no, he had already sent me home, and he was on his way home himself, when this happened.
I know it's bad to hear. I'm just glad you went there for that. All right. Do you know where he's being held?
I believe so. The overseers have a central facility, around, let's say, Charter Hall. I might change the district later, but for now, let's say Charter Hall. They have a central facility in Charter Hall, but before that, they are going to they're going to be keeping him in a temporary facility in Night Market before transporting the body to the central facility. And I think that might be your best shot. They're going to be sending him through the canal so they can dissolve him, and I think that's where you can stop. You need to stop it.
All right. Listen. All right. Listen. We'll do what we can. Just this is dangerous stuff.
I know, and I wouldn't ask you if this wasn't really important. And I'll pay, Harry, I promise.
It's dangerous for you too. This is getting entangled in this. This isn't just a fun night on the town. This is all right. Listen, stay safe. We'll try and intercept. We'll do what we can. I'll get the team on board, and if you need anything, let me know. But you should go home. You should go home when it's safe.
Thank you, Terry. This means the world for me.
Don't thank me till it's done.
All right, and Florence. Where do you usually?
Stupid girl doesn't know what she's doing.
Where does Terry usually meet Florence?
That's a good question. I don't actually know.
Maybe they just have a place in the city that they usually meet somewhere between.
I don't know what the rhythm here is.
Yeah, let's just say that it's a particular around the bridge between the docks and Brightstone.
Okay.
That's actually Florence probably Brightstone is one of Duskfall's nicer. So she probably lives in Duskfall, or in Brightstone, and the bridge between these two districts is kind of this border between the worlds. So might as well.
If this ever becomes irrelevant, I'm probably going to need to see a map of all this.
Fair enough. Let me get you. Actually, on page if you have the rulebook, it's page 254 has a map.
254. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Brightstone. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and it's right next to the dock.
Okay. So around the Silver Market. That's a pretty good place to meet her, the Silver Market.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the same day as as the one where we met Thistle and Drifter?
No, this is a little bit later, or like this is a few days later. I'm just assuming that you've done the work needed to integrate Thistle and Drifter into the crew?
We got them their rooms on the boat.
Yeah, pretty much. And sometime later, you're approached with a job offer.
Yep. Well, I go back in. I like to think that there's definitely a bell somewhere on this ship. For like I don't know why I think this, but ships have bells, right? Ships have bells that you ring for stuff, right? This is the hey, let's meet. We have a job bell that I'm ringing.
Yes. Why? What about the bell?
Oh, I'm ringing it to call everyone for a meeting.
All right. Everyone has been called to a meeting. How do you? Yeah.
So I mean, I basically just say, hey, I in so many words, I tell them all the details. I tell them the whens and wheres, and I tell them that this is a good way to. I know this person. I know they're good for a lot of cash, and I know that they're gonna be pretty thankful when we're done with this. So I just explain the whole thing to them.
Okay. So the rest of the Phantom Ferrymen now know about Florence's job offer.
Yeah.
To Terry.
I didn't tell them anything about Florence. I just told them about the job.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
What do you think of this job offer?
You know, we might be able to handle this whole thing a whole lot easier if we. You said she wants the body or the spirit? This patron.
She said it wants the. I mean, her exact words are the essence, but yeah, she wants the spirit. I think. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I think.
I think we can actually intercept the body much earlier if we can get our hands on a couple specific sorts of uniforms that'll get us access to the morgue itself. I obviously have the tools and experience and know-how to conduct the let's say final rites and rituals associated with it, but at the same time I would actually be looking more to be there as part of an investigation, to be the visitor to the aid of who the investigator is, following up on rumors that this individual was in fact poisoned and the carriage was just a cover.
All right.
That should at least give us a chance to investigate the body and get close enough to try to extract the essence, the spirit, before the body gets sent to dissolve, and when it does, it'll already be an empty husk.
Okay, how much time do we have?
That's a good question.
You have a few days.
Okay.
If you want to if you want to do some kind of legwork, that's fine. But remember, to start this job, all that you need is an angle, a point of entry. You need an angle and a point of entry, and from there, if you want to do any extra planning, you can do that planning during the score. But yeah, the Phantom Ferrymen have time to prepare for this.
Okay.
Do we have someone that can bluff being a medical expert?
I don't have to bluff it.
This guy's the best in the business. He says while shaking.
That sounds like a good plan then.
All right. So, what kind of point of entry is that? We are going to go into an engagement roll, which is where you roll a certain number of dice to determine how well things are going when we cut to the run, to the score. Right?
Feels like it could be a deception or something.
the engagement roll is not an action roll. Instead, you start with one. You start with one die for sheer luck, and then I will add or remove dice for. I will add or remove dice based on well, a bunch of extenuating circumstances, and you are free to pitch in. Well, I have the final roll over how many die you get to roll. If you feel you deserve a bonus die for something, of course, feel free to chime in. So, is this operation particularly bold or daring? Yes.
Yeah,
Take an extra die.
Trying to infiltrate a
take the
morgue
bonus
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors?
I don't think so.
No. I'm gonna not give you that penalty.
Yeah, I agree. We're approaching it in a much more controlled way, trying to get a cold body on a slab than trying to infiltrate the canals.
Yep. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I'm gonna say no. Is the target?
I mean, I'm thinking
defenses or special preparation.
So I have 2 points in survey. I'm trying to think of how this would work in game. If there's some way I could have gone out and try and scope out potential weaknesses. Actually, you know what? Terry's kind of not in a great way starting out, so I think he's just going to play it safe and stay home before the thing starts. I mean,
all right. Do you have any friends or contacts who can provide aid or insight for this operation?
Let's see. Our contact. I think the only contact we have is what's her name? Niall.
Yeah, she's more in the spirit trade though.
Okay, so she's not really connected.
Well,
no, so I don't think we can
help us get our hands on one of those devices that you can kind of trap the spirit in a bottle with.
You already have those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Drifter has a physical contact named Melver. Somebody he must have known in the city before moving here.
I mean, if they know anybody who works at that morgue that can help us get an in, that would be the best.
That might be a potential contact.
So, Flint, a spirit trafficker who may have visited a morgue or two.
All right. How do you want to expose a vulnerability here?
That's a good question. With this intent, it's not trying to sneak in and blend in, but instead be going in a little more boldly, claiming to have a legitimate investigation that requires immediate attention, trying to get in, get the job done and get out before anybody realizes just what's going on.
That did work pretty well for us last time.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad approach.
And we've got the field medic with us.
Yeah, this is a deception approach. This is a deception, and the detail is that you're going to pretend that there was some kind of
foul play. Yes, that it's suspected that he was given a dose of a poison, and the carriage incident was merely the cover to look like a legitimate death.
Could we provide some kind of paperwork to back that up?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that for now I'm just looking at the way you have what you need to execute this. So I'm gonna say that would be a 2-die engagement.
Okay.
To kind of
paperwork to that effect is something we could decide that we have had in the middle of the mission.
Exactly. Yes. Part of the goal of this is that once you decide we're going to do a job, the goal is to get you into the job and get the action rolling.
Right.
So that, and then if there's something like, oh, we could have planned for this, well, you can do the planning that you could have done when it pops up.
Sounds good.
But so before I make the roll, though, I'm going to ask everyone. I'm going to ask everyone to mark what loadout. What loadout are you taking? Light, medium, or heavy? That's something everyone is going to need to mark on their character sheet.
So, gameplay wise, what are the disadvantages of a heavier loadout?
Pretty much I can inflict higher consequences against you for doing anything that a heavy loadout would interfere with, such as looking not suspicious or trying to do anything acrobatic. Any roll you make with that is probably going to have higher a lower position or a reduced effect just because of that.
Okay. I mean, it kind of. I would. My instinct would be that this is a light one. Like we're trying to be sneaky. We're trying to be inconspicuous.
I would think if we're officially there, it wouldn't be unreasonable to load out. Like we'd come armed. And...
Also, for reference, so the game doesn't provide concrete mechanical effects for load.
Right.
I was going to say, I can do this. It's not the game says, if this is the load, do this. It just describes verbally what the situation is if you're carrying this kind of load. And it's up to me to inflict consequences if you are in higher load.
Well,
Like
also,
you're faster, less conspicuous, you can blend in with citizens.
Is the item used to the tools used to get essence from a body into a bottle? Is that something that would count as a gadget that takes a whole inventory spot, or would it be more if I had the bandolier of 3 of those that I would actually have 1 item's worth of penalty?
So looking at the spirit bottles thing, that is that does take up it says that two for 1. So when you mark the box, you get 2 spirit bottles, but it takes up 1 inventory slot. That is one of the whisper items. So Thistle would have access equipment, and she can get
okay.
2.
I would most likely go with a light load then.
Yeah.
I don't expect to have to fight, or that fighting would really be the ideal thing in this situation. So instead, it would be it's marked as fine tinkering tools, but in reality, it's like the full on Physicers kit. I wouldn't walk up to an engine with this in any day of the week.
Right.
As well as kind of the documents prepared and the subterfuge supplies, as in the disguises and forged formal paperwork and other things that I would need to appear to be an actual like morgue investigator sort of person.
Yeah, and you can mark those things as we get into the run. But yeah,
okay.
For reference, here you for now you just need to mark what the size of the loadout is.
Okay.
And as you go through them, you'll mark items on the sheet. But for reference, the load descriptions are: if you're bearing a light load, you're faster, you're less conspicuous, and you can blend in with regular citizens. That's 1 to 3. Up to 5 is a normal load. You look like a scoundrel, ready for trouble. You look like someone, you look like someone armed, right? And if you are bearing a heavy load, you're slower. You look like an operative on a mission. You're like in full gear, right? So that's kind of just a description of what you would look like if you choose that load. But otherwise, you just make the decision, light, normal, or heavy. You don't make any other decision.
I think Drifter's going normal because he wants to look dangerous.
Okay.
All right. Terry's going light.
Makes sense.
Well, who would be kind of acting as more of the legal side of the investigation? I would imagine that'd be more something Drifter is doing.
Which side?
To be kind of like the not blue coat, but like a private investigator that I'm kind of paired with in this investigation.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The Hound does have a documents item, so
yeah.
it might make
Well,
sense.
also you're a hound, and you probably look like one. Like if we're gonna bring an investigator, it'd probably be you.
Mm-hmm.
That said, medium load is not out of question for something like that, like armor or just, somebody who, should there be an emergency, might be expected to, pull out a blade or a gun or something. That medium definitely does make sense for you.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And also for reference, last mission, I don't know how many items I had, but you can do a lot with only a few items if you get to choose what they are.
Yeah. Because yeah, also a bunch of items don't even take up inventory. That's if they are in italics.
Yep.
Oh, also, here's about big in-game facts that we shouldn't forget. You have smuggler's rigging, which means that two of your carried items can be perfectly concealed.
Ah.
Important little. This is gonna come in handy, I guess.
Super awesome.
So yeah,
I'm gonna. I mean, I can bring a cane sword. I'm gonna assume that's pretty well disguised when it's not used.
Yep.
Uh.
So yeah, are we ready to jump into this?
Yeah. Also, looking at my items, I just want to retcon. When we played Liar's Dice at the bar, I totally gave you loaded dice just to see how you'd react.
Awesome. I think I would have noticed.
All right. Yeah, I think we're ready.
Yep. Okay. So engagement. You roll a 5.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that is not bad at all. It means things are risky, which is pretty nice. So you are right now we are at the office of the morgue in Night Market. You've already docked your boat and then at the office a rather stressed clerk is working at her desk, and up to her stroll.
Oh yeah. Well, Terry goes first. Remind me, the player, what was the full plan again? We're going to just there's an official investigation, and we want to just see the body.
Yeah, we need to conduct an investigation to determine the true cause of death. One point of prep that we would have done before this point was actually getting physical features, full name, next of kin, etc., that sort of information as much as we could from Florence, and then further investigation after that.
Yeah, I'm going to assume I got that. And I have I'm gonna one of my things I'm putting on my sheet is I got some documents. I just have like some forged investigation documents. So I stroll up to the counter with my crew and I say, all right, good day. Well, listen, we've got we got a little bit of a situation here. My associates, sorry, I need to think of what to say here. Basically, there's a body we need to, it's part of an official investigation. We're here with the inspectors, and my body inspector Crash has to have a good look at one of the people you got here. You got and then I say the name of the person. What is the name of this person, by the way? We're probably going to reference that a bunch.
I don't think I've given you one. So let's come up with one, because I should have. That's not because Florence doesn't remember his name. It's because I don't.
Right.
So let me Names are my absolute bane.
Jasper Van Dint.
Jasper Van Dint is as good a name as any for a noble. I think that between West March
awesome.
the 2nd, sorry, West March the 42nd and Jasper Van Dint, we are on a roll.
And
with
that's
these
DIJNT, Dint.
What?
It's a Dutch. Never mind.
Okay.
It's a Dutch thing, I guess.
I got the last name March from Jane Austen.
Oh yeah.
Super
what book is that from?
But that was Percy, not Emma. Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
Anyway, so
It's all good.
So Jasper Van Dint, you have, which is apparently his name. You have his documentation.
Mr. Van Dint is interred here, as I understand it, and we have he's interred here, and we have to see him. And I think this would be a sway.
I think somebody should assist.
Oh yeah, someone can
Oh, yeah.
assist. But you said that you present documents for him and that you researched him.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say that's a flashback action. How did you do? How did you do that?
Oh, I mean, So, let's see. Oh, okay. Here's something I want to write into fiction. There's a character named Inspector Cross. That's where I got the name that I made up on the spot for Drifter, who has been after me for quite some time. Specifically, he's been after Flinch. He's putting the pieces together and figuring out who this person is. And I think as a kind of personal sport, Terry has been trying to steal as much documents relating to this case as he can, just because he finds it really funny, all the wrong ideas people get about him. And so he's got like a template for what it would look like to demand access to see a living person, which is not to see a body, but he just went and he did his best forgery of the official document and changed the names and descriptions best he could to match the what someone would present to gain access to see a body.
Oh, so it's forged documents, is it?
Yeah.
Let's do you know anyone who can forge?
Actually, that's a good question. So I think last time subterfuge supplies is what I checked off last time, and that's how I did some forged documents there. That's a good
You are
question.
a forger.
Who's a forger?
It sounds like you are.
I mean, I would love to claim that skill. I don't know if I can officially just say I can forge.
Sway, would that help?
No, because specifically there is a forgery is a thing that you can.
Yeah, I don't think I have that skill per se.
Yeah, no,
But
I did not.
let's
I can
say
study rituals.
let's say this is a tinker roll if you'd like to forge yourself, or you can make this a consort roll to get a forger to do it for.
Let's say consort. Now, it's tricky because I still have that harm. That means I only roll one die. But I will add a die to make this a devil's bargain.
I mean, I'm gonna probably
okay.
assist.
All right. How do you assist?
I'll step up and say, what he's trying to say is, we need to see this Jasper Van Dint. I should introduce myself. I'm Inspector.
Oh no, this is still for finding a forger.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
We are presenting forged documents, and
we
are asking. You might be wondering, how did the Phantom Ferrymen get access to these forged documents?
That would probably not be something I'd be able to help with then. So nope. Not me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that. By the way, that's gonna be a controlled roll
Okay.
with standard effect. It's not particularly dangerous to you. You know like how to find contacts in the underworld. That it's not. It's dangerous when one doesn't know what they're doing, but you know what you're.
Okay.
So roll me a control concern, and you said that you would like some kind of devil's bargain.
I mean, I'm only rolling one die. Maybe I don't know how. I forget how Devil's Bargain works.
Pretty much you just I'm going to give you some kind of deal,
Okay.
and you can take it to get the die.
All right. Yeah,
And
I'll
you
do
need
that.
to, and you choose whether you get the die before you.
Yeah, I'll do that because guess what? My two best stats are resolve, and I have a minus die on both of them until I can get fully healed. So I'm gonna, yeah, this is gonna be a rough time. But I'm gonna do the Devil's Bargain, and that's gonna counteract the -1 die.
I'm gonna say that your bargain is that pretty much things are tough lately. There is increased violence, there are fewer jobs, and generally forges are charging a lot right now, more than they used.
Sustainable.
They're gonna
Coins on the
take
table.
so you're going to get one fewer coin for this score. I'm going to just
Okay.
subtract one coin from your final payoff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so that would be on sheet. Since
Sorry?
I absolutely love that little widget, click on consort.
Hey. There we go.
Technically, so whatever. Because it's the same number of dice. So yeah, that is a 6. You managed to find a good forger. They charge what they're worth, which is a lot. But you've managed to find a deal, and you actually have some pretty good forged documents that you're presenting.
Okay.
To the lady at the morgue, and I'm gonna need you to roll for me again to actually approach. Now actually roll sway
All right.
to actually convince her that you need to come through. And since you do have the documents, I'm going to say that you're still risky.
So risky.
But it's going to be a major effect.
Ah, okay. Great effect.
Because if you can pull this off, you do look legit. If you can,
All
you
right.
know.
And I think someone is going to assist for this one.
Yeah, and it sounds like I have Inspector Crass here, alias, assisting me. So that's a net -+1. So I'm going to roll 2 dice again.
Yep, and that's gonna be risky position, great effect.
All right. Hey, there we go. Now all the 6s come.
Yep. So we So she looks at your documentation. She looks at you. You're kind of weird looking, but your papers are legit. And she's like, "Well, I know they're supposed to transport him today. I'll see
That's
what
why
I
we
can
got to
do."
get in now.
Yeah, of course, let me come with you. I'll talk to the gondolier. So she gets up and she walks with you. By the way, who is in this group? Are you all together in one group, or are you split up in some way?
I assumed we were all together.
Yeah, I don't think we had an intricate positioned plan here. I think we're all as a group.
All right, so you're as one group. So she leads you through the facility, and because you are accompanied, you don't really draw any further suspicion. And you head to a small kind of, well, dock where people are getting the corpses onto a boat that's going to be sent through the canals into Charter Hall. And she essentially, the clerk talks to this kind of very unenthusiastic person who is loading corpses onto a boat, and is probably wondering right now why he's loading corpses onto a boat. What led him to this point? This is what he does. And she asks him, look, these people just came here. They need to look at she just check his organization. What would you say his name was? Jasmine? No.
Jasper Van Dint.
Jasper Van Dint. Right. Yeah, and looks like there might be some kind of development in his case. He was hired by who hired you?
Inspectors. There's an actual faction that has inspectors, and I think it's the inspectors.
Yeah, something like that. Sure, I'll take that answer for now. Yeah, the inspectors. Would you mind fishing him out? And he just like looks at the pile of corpses he already put on the boat. And he just contemplates what he does, and he's like, No, he's already on the boat. It's too late. I'm sorry. He's in there, and I really yeah, it's just too late. What do you do about what do you do to them? What do you say to that?
I don't believe the mission that we were sent on allows us to actually accept that as an answer. Unfortunately, we have to investigate the body, and we have to do it immediately. If you're unable to locate it, we can attempt to help locate the body, but it must be recovered and investigated.
Oh, someone. Yeah. Okay. Those fellas. He's like, fine. There better be something in this for me, though.
There isn't. Narrator. There wasn't.
And he,
you know, when you're done with your shift, why don't you go by the I'm not just out of character, not going to tell him to go to the Leaky Tap. What's a different like an upper end sort of tavern?
Oh, hey, I can tell
kind of in the area.
kicked out of.
Sorry, what?
I can tell you some that I was kicked out of.
The Green Finch.
Yes, there we go.
After your shift, come by the Green Finch. There'll be a nice glass of whiskey waiting for you.
There won't be.
Roll. Don't roll. I'm just gonna. He fishes out the he essentially, well, yeah, he fishes out the corpse of Jasper Van Dint, who is used to look very nice. But
how long ago?
You know, he probably looked pretty nice, like half a week ago.
Yeah. Time comes at you
Or
fast.
he had like a big...
time comes at you fast. So do carriages, for that matter.
Big like just blood all over his like dried blood on on his nice coat.
Is the
probably
is the receptionist, is she returning to her desk?
No, she's still with you.
Okay. All right.
Oh, what's your name, by the way, lad? Or I'm guessing he's young.
His name is Boris.
Okay.
Well, while you and Boris are talking, I'm motioning to
Boris.
motioning Drifter is like, all right, your time to shine, mate. Your time to shine, mate. Yeah, own your key here.
Wait, who are you saying that
Become an
to?
investigator.
To Boris.
No, I'm not talking to that douche. I don't want to talk to him at all. I'm actually, what am I doing here? Because on paper, Drifter is examining him. That's our story anyway. But what are we actually doing with this body?
I think right now we're trying to.
Oh, sure. Do you want me to? Do you want me to handle a transport to the station? How do you want to do this? She kind of asks.
Oh,
Because I'm gonna say that she's assuming that you have your equipment at the station where you're going to inspect this body. So how do you want to she's so our lovely so our receptionist, whose name is, well, I'll get to her name in a bit, but she's offering you to handle that transport so that they can transport Mr. Van Dint back to the station so that you can conduct a proper investigation.
all right. Well, here's what I'm gonna say to her, because I've already had a successful sway roll. So I look at her intently, and well, Terry lifts his eye patch, and he says to her, "We will take it from here. Your involvement is over. There was nobody you helped today. Go back to your desk." I'm using mesmerism because
Yes,
we already had the successful sway roll. She's not going to remember this whole exchange.
Okay. So you I'm going to say, she says, very good. Have a nice day. And she kind of heads back off. And Boris kind of watches her leave, and he's like, where's she going?
You should be worried about where you're going, mate. I just kind of want to. I just want to. Like, I'm tired of dealing with this guy. I just want to take the body and go. So if we have to overpower him, so be it. But that's my plan.
No. He sorry. I was gonna just say he's like the you have the body. Someone should probably handle it. I'm gonna take a break, and he leaves.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
He is probably going out for some smokes.
Alright.
Is
Sounds good.
so now you are now unaccompanied because they just went back to the front desk, but you do have the body. And
what kind of time frame does it take to suck out the soul? Is it quicker just to take the body?
I'm gonna say that you
I think
So,
it says
about
something
that.
about that on the explanation of the item itself. Does anybody know what page that's on, roughly?
About that. You're examining the body, and of Van Dint, and also his facial hair, you notice, is actually like, well, it's no longer groomed, but it must have been at some point. It actually has quite a very kind of like nice set of mutton chops, kind of hanging out of a distended face. But Thistle, you notice that you've seen a bunch of corpses before the spirit has departed. They have a particular distortion. They cause a particular distortion in the ghost field. This one doesn't have that. This one doesn't have that distortion. Which is odd, because he is a very recent death.
Would that indicate
It should
that
be there.
the spirit's already left?
Yep. Even though it shouldn't be.
Can I study this?
Do you want to examine the body?
I want to examine the body, yes, and see if I can do some kind of like. Anyway, yeah, I'll start there. Let me get a closer look.
Okay. Roll me. I'm gonna say that this is going to be an information gathering. This is not an action roll. This is an information gather roll. For a tune. So I'm not gonna. So because this information gathering rolls are a little bit different than action rolls. They
Okay.
don't have consequences.
Okay.
So this is not. Is this still a study?
This is probably more like a
Attunement, maybe?
you could use a tune to get some kind of arcane insight.
My strongest.
You could use probably study or survey to like physically examine and look for physical clues.
I want to go with more of the spiritual side, being a whisperer.
Okay.
I'd like to use it if possible, or that would be my first instinct based on who I am.
Yeah. So the way this is gonna in an information gathering role, there are no consequences. Instead, so call it a fortune roll, right?
Okay.
Call it a fortune roll, and then roll roll your attune.
Is this something that we can assist with? Or is that not for information gathering roles?
Yeah, you could.
Okay. Then I would do
Great.
that. But that's 1 stress on my part, right?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. Mark.
Nice.
Here's my fortune.
Oh, 0 dice. No.
Oh, fortune automatically does 0.
Oh, okay.
Add to it.
No, just give me a minute.
It should have been 2 dice anyway, right?
Yeah, it should have been 2 dice anyway, so I'll just say that these are the dice you rolled. So that's a 6. This is
Okay.
this night is going a lot better than last night, despite. So yeah, what kind of information you get by examining the ghost field around Jasper? So first of all, this is a great result. You get the I'm going to give you a straight answer, and I'm going to answer some follow-up questions if you have. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. So it you kind of examine the edges of the ghost field around Jasper, and what it seems to you is that you might have actually not been the first to want Jasper's soul.
Oh.
It looks like somebody has artificially took um has artificially some kind of um telltale distortions left by
Uh,
certain machines that are meant to force a soul to leave a body before its time.
would imagine it's the spiritual version of a damaged box in shipping.
Pretty much.
Someone voided the warranty.
Right? The seal
Yeah.
is broken.
So it looks like you're not the only out for Jasper's soul.
Who's this guy?
Good question. So what is it? What follow-up things do you want to know about the ghost field around Jasper?
Right. From what I remember, there's other bodies.
Yes, you are standing next to a veritable pile of
Hey, well, what's the feeling I get from the rest of them?
um
Jasper.
it
Have people gone after everybody or just this guy?
no, it was actually he was probably um which is odd because it was actually kind of recent. So it looks like someone basically did what you're doing right now, just already. So he's meaning like based on the timeline that you're and how recent the extraction appears to be based on the distortions, it looks like he was someone extracted the soul after he was interred.
Okay.
And it
So,
is just him. The other bodies that are being shipped to the crematorium. Uh, by the way, the place these corpses are all being shipped to is Bellwether Crematorium.
okay.
Uh, so
Full name.
yeah, so these other corpses being shipped to Bellwether. Well, they're future ghosts that haven't been dissolved yet.
I think realizing what I have at this point, they can't see what I see. I'll let them know that we are not the first people here and ask who's our best tracker? You? Um, it looks like someone already checked the site and has left. I don't see them here. Unless it's this guy.
What?
Physical clues.
Drifter could do a survey.
Okay. Someone
Um.
already checked this guy and I want to know where they went.
Okay, so you want to know it's probably someone here. Well, maybe. It looks like it looks like whoever got Jasper's spirit did it after he was interred.
Okay.
So
So
Do bodies go
So can we-
anywhere else before they would go to the morgue, or it would normally be that a body is just dragged straight to the morgue, and then anything that would have happened here?
So the pipeline is that the local overseers are going. They basically as they as you know as people die, and then they bring the body to a local morgue where they're interred. Their paperwork checked out. If the blue coats need anything, then that's checked out, and then the bodies are shipped in Charter Hall where they are dissolved and disposed of.
So does doing a survey roll to look for any physical evidence of maybe who or what might have happened make sense?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna say that is another I'm gonna say it's another information roll. Yeah, I'm gonna say that you can. Is that a surveyor? Let's say that's a survey.
Would it? Is surveyor?
I'm gonna say it's a survey.
Okay.
So yeah, roll me survey.
That doesn't help too much.
Nope. So you in examining him, you notice that he has most of his possessions on him still. Which makes one empty pocket kind of conspicuous. Because the rest aren't.
So someone killed him for something and then took his soul?
Remember, his soul was taken after he was interred.
I think it was done by someone here. Is there anything I can do to figure a trail?
You can,
Who was
of course.
the guy that was just here? Wasn't
Yeah, Boris isn't gone. He went out to smoke a cigar, but he's gonna be back soon. And of course, whoever did this probably wasn't invisible. Or,
do you think the body's still worth something? Should we still grab this, or taking this in the wrong direction? You guys have been longer than me, so I'm just saying there's markets for everything.
I feel like it would be kind of difficult to get the body out of here in a way that's inconspicuous. I think.
Sounds like we had permission, though.
Well, we have permission, but then once we make it out to the street, then what?
Just gotta wrap a blanket or something.
Yeah, so guess we could get a carriage or something.
They know that they think that at least are something that you're inspectors who need to further investigate the body, but she's not expecting you to just walk out with it.
So at this point, Terry, I haven't described this for the new group. Terry's been just staring at the rest of you with his eye patch up. And if you look at the other eye, it's got this very sickly pale color to it. It's almost like just very slightly purple, and it's got a very small pupil that is darting around within the iris. It's really disconcerting. And as soon as you start talking about that, you hear him say, "We are not selling the body." Then he puts the eye patch down, and his expression changes back.
What are the contents of the rest of the pockets?
Okay, right. I mean, his boots might be worth something.
It looks like they haven't So yeah, it looks like they haven't yet really stripped him of his possessions, pretty much. People have been notified, but it looks like he still has a watch, a few silvers.
No clues or paperwork. At though.
I'm gonna say that if someone else wants, that's further information. Let's say.
I'm willing to roll survey because I have survey as well. I just need to know what am I surveying here? We know that we think that it's someone in this building who took the soul. Is that the
Yes.
is that the information?
Yes, that is the information. Someone in this building already took the soul.
All right.
While you're debating,
I'm about ready to go on a soul hunt quest right now. I just need to know how we're going to start.
And he kind of looks at you, and he looks at the body, and he's like, he just says, "Him again? What do people want from this guy? He's dead."
What indeed? What did people want from this? Who were they? Who were they?
Well, I think it was it was Zamira. She's one of the sorry, Zamira, she's one of the observers. She works here. When this guy was in church, she was really interested in him for some reason. I'm not sure why. Just she didn't really want it. She just wanted to make sure that he was pretty much the moment he was in church. She just asked about him and asked if he was brought here. And I said yes, but it's just
how did you get
not usual for an observer to care or even know who they're sending to be dissolved.
How did you get a name?
A name?
How did you get a name? Zamira.
Oh no, she works here.
All right.
Oh, is she on staff right now?
Yeah, I think she is, probably.
Well, one more question, lad. How old is she?
Probably.
Is she young or is she older?
Probably mid-30s, I think. I don't know.
All right. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, sure. So, do you still need this guy, or?
No, I think we're done with him now.
Fine, okay. That whiskey better be damn good, though.
You guys did check his pockets, right? And
yeah, we would have.
Yeah, I'm
checked over and.
Better be damn good, though.
At the very least, I probably would have grabbed the watch so that if we can't bring a what's it called, the spirit back to Florence, then at least here's a memento. That's the best we could get.
Oh yeah, that's good thinking.
Sorry, but do what you can.
Yeah. So yeah, so you have that information. What do you do with it?
I think we're gonna go pay Zamira a visit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Zamira is an Akarosi overseer. She's wearing the standard overseer robe. She has kind of a lot of hair in a knit cap. Kind of keeps most of that in, and sorry. Also, I'm assuming that you ask how do you ask about Zamira's whereabouts? Do you ask Boris?
I'm assuming we asked Boris. Are we in her office? How are we meeting her?
Yeah, she has an office, which Boris takes you to.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, she's over here. I really gotta get back to work. So, yeah, you enter. Zamir just looks up at you and says, "Yes, come in."
All right. Nice to meet you, Zamira. I'm here with. Well, I'll let him introduce himself. We're here on orders to inspect one of the bodies, and we couldn't. We heard that you knew a few things about it. We're talking about Jasper Van Dint, the late Jasper Van Dint. I'll let my associate explain further.
Her face kind of like she kind of makes a face when you mention his name.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want with Van Dint?
I'm motioning for Drudo to say a few smart spirit-related things.
Well, after some investigation, we noticed there's been some tampering the electroplasmic fields and, general having of a spirit that a body would normally have for, just without getting too technical here. It seemed a little conspicuous or a little suspicious here that he seemed to lack that. Now we noticed some of the other bodies being piled on didn't seem to suffer that same tampering, and so we're trying to investigate now what happened before his body headed to the ship. There was foul play suspected of and associated with his death, and quite honestly, this could very well be the lead that we need to finish this investigation.
She just kind of looks at you and she says, "I have no idea what you're talking about." She's kind of nervous. You're not sure if that's the whole story.
Well,
Zamira, what's your job here exactly?
Whisper. Why?
You'll have to be a little more explicit than that. What do you do?
Well, I advise on any spiritual disturbances that might happen. A place like this, so associated with death, is a magnet for vile spirits and other such unwanted attention.
Yeah.
So I'm here as protection. And, well...
And what you're saying is that, well, there's a body that's been tampered with, and you have no idea how or when or who.
How do you even know that the body's been tampered?
We're good at our jobs, ma'am.
Roll sway.
Ah, okay.
So, what are you trying to get her to do? Actually, I'm gonna pull back. In this scene,
well,
what are you trying to get her to do?
Crack, basically.
Yeah.
Are you trying to intimidate?
Yeah, we are trying to intimidate her.
Okay. Then yeah, that's going to be
Okay.
sway. how well you accomplish that.
I would say
Alright,
like more of a logical intimidation, the whole like, backing into an argumentative corner sort of thing.
That's
Yeah,
still
but
a
I
kind
mean-
of intimidation.
Yeah, this is like that's what we're doing. That's what the words are saying, but it is the tone is definitely intimidation. Would you say that is anyone helping me with this? I mean, I've got backup in terms of I got witnesses for this. I have also some threatening people with me.
You do have a whisper.
Do have a whisper. And all right.
Is that an assist?
I would love an
is-
assist if we can think of a good one.
So
Let me assist.
To do something, you have to do something whispery, I think.
Oh.
I mean, you do have the authority. You do have on things weird and spirity and ghosty.
Actually, I think we asked this earlier. Do you have a whisper tell?
I actually have a spirit mask with me all the time, which
Ooh.
is pretty distinctive and creepy. So it's really hard to hide my profession.
Yeah, that's actually all of Whisper's calling card. By the way, what does your mask look like?
More bird-like than skull-like.
Makes sense.
As creepy as the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, but
Yeah.
the general shape.
So yeah, you can motion to the fact you inspected the body with your own whisper,
Oh yeah.
and I'm gonna count that as an extra die as long.
Okay.
Missile takes 1 stress to mark the assist.
And I'm also gonna push myself on this, so I will
Okay.
take 2 stress. So that would be I'll go through the motions here. So is it risky? Would you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna say risky standard effect.
Risky standard. All right. And -1 plus 2 is 1 total bonus die. And hey, there we go. It's another 6.
Nice.
So yeah,
Oof.
that is a 6.
Oh, the fact that it
So
was on the last roll really justifies
I've been kind of like I've had the shakes, but I am trying really, really hard to keep them down while I'm trying to look intimidating. Because if I'm shaking while talking to this person, that's not intimidating at all.
No,
Oh.
you have got this together today.
Oh yeah, no, I am putting it aside. I'm putting on the act right now.
How much of that is Terry and how much of that is Filch or Flinch?
Flinch.
How much of that is Terry? How much of that is Flinch?
Flinch is not a. He's not a. Well, no one really knows for sure, but it's pretty much just Terry right now. Flinch is not present.
Okay. So Zamira sees that she is not worming her way out of this one. And she just kind of eyes the room as if she's looking for exits, as if she could just jump out the window right now. But she turns around, opens a cabinet, and takes out a spirit bottle. And okay. She says, "Okay. Fine. Here he is. That's Jasper." You might not want to take him. There is a demon. His name is Sartera. Sorry, Satera. Yes. Which is a name that rings a bell for Thistle.
Yeah, it would, actually.
Small world.
Yeah. That's not someone I get along with.
Then you would know that this demon's agents, when they pull out a call for that kind of thing, it's better just pass that on. Right? You don't want to know. You don't want to see a demon acting malevolently. Not in this ecosystem.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I don't want to touch this.
How believable is this? Like, am I getting the impression that this is just a story that she's pulling out of nowhere? Like, oh yes, scary demon. People have heard of him. Maybe I can shake them off.
The fear seems genuine. She knows that she needs to hand you. The fear seems genuine. She knows that she needs to hand you this spirit. That she's likely not. She thinks that you're inspectors, and she's torn between you arresting her and keeping the supernatural ecosystem of Dusk at bay. Well, at least something seems to.
How did you come to hear about this this entity seeking this particular essence?
She kind of thinks for a moment, and she says, "No, that's for your own good. It's better if you don't get involved in this."
Well, a little too late for that, I think.
Okay. So there is a spirit trafficker called Niall. And she puts different orders, right, from different clients. So recently an came in from one of Satera's aliases. Mr. Wicker, right? And the descriptions, the listing of the spirit essence matched this one too closely. It was the pain and death, the street. It was the street. It at night market. It all coincided with this listing. So that that means he wants this particular spirit, and it's not the first time I've done this. when this kind of thing pops up, then that is what my job, not my job description, but what I was actually brought here to do entails. Keep the peace, protect the overseers, even if they don't know.
And exactly how was this to be transferred to Niall to complete this transaction?
Well, I was she has a shop in Night Market. I was going to stop by there.
You were personally going to deliver it.
Unlike some people in the city, I don't have my own.
So wait, hang on. So if I'm understanding the situation, it was she was going to hand off the spirit to Niall, and Niall was going to hand it off to Satara. Was that the idea?
Yes.
Okay. I look at I turn to Thistle and I ask her, you know what this demon bloke would do with a fresh soul like this one?
Well, have you eaten recently? You're not queasy, are you?
I'm always queasy.
Oh, okay, fair. I've seen you drink.
He shakes
Right.
a little when he says that.
Out of character, what would demons do to a body like this?
So it's the soul he's after, not the body, and it varies, but it's generally what demons generally want is anything from chaos to power to knowledge. Demons have a lot of time to enact their plans, right? And they're not really bound by dying soon and needing a meaning. It's more like they have some kind of thing that drives them, right? And they have as much time as they need to put that into fruition. If they want power, they can just spend as much time as they want gathering. If they want to just pause chaos and see what happens, they can do that. They just want to know everything. They could spend an eternity reading. And souls, and particularly souls with particular attributes, can be used for any number of magical rituals. So
for all
what Satara specifically wants?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be a knowledge check. Because you do know Satara, and that would to use it. So that's kind of the general demon knowledge that I can just give you, right?
So for all we know, he's storing thousands of souls to use in like 500 years later for something mischievous, but we have no reason to care about that.
Okay, probably not that far away.
So I'm thinking it could be targeted, but it doesn't have to be targeted. This just might be a side effect of some demon doing something bigger.
Yeah,
And we found
it's targeted to the extent that this particular kind of soul is what he needs for his plans, but it might not be personal, or it might be, right? This is definitely targeted, but it might not be personal. If that makes any sense.
Having a ritual
Would you like to see if you know anything about Satara's goals to Would you like to see if you know anything about Satara?
Yeah, I would.
So yeah, roll.
A what?
You cut out there.
Right, I think you cut out.
Oh, sorry. Roll a tune.
Ooh.
Could that go through? So yeah,
Yeah,
that,
we heard that.
Yeah, we heard you.
yeah. Sorry. So that would be an attune knowledge roll to see what you know about Cetera and his plans.
Right, so risky?
No. You could put risky, but knowledge roll technically don't have a consequence. You don't get consequences for seeing what you for trawling your memory.
Okay, fortune roll. Okay. All right. Standard effect, 0 effect. Let's see. Look about right.
There's a 4.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna give you a pretty straightforward answer, and I'm not gonna take any follow-up questions.
Okay, fair.
So what you do know about Cetera is that Cetera seeks often souls that were related to anger or pain or death around pretty much anger and pain around the time of their death. And it has a particular interest in people who went to sea.
Oh,
This is not the first time Stera searched for these particular. Stera tends to search for these particular attributes. Tends to search for souls with very negative emotions surrounding them, and there's emotion, and if there's emotion around town that's particularly strong, and any kind of soul marked by the sea. And not like, and the deeper into the deeper into the waters this person has sailed, the better. The way the mark of the sea is stronger on them.
Well, it seems like she's more warning us than trying to actually stop us.
Well, I mean, actually, the direction I wanted to go with that question is, what is this like for Jasper?
Sorry, could you repeat that? You cut out.
I mean, like when I asked what they do with the souls, like what does the soul experience when a demon takes them?
Probably painful. It's a part of you being burned up for fuel.
Mm.
Like you are being burned up for fuel in something that's bigger than you. But rather than your body being burned, it's your essence being burned.
Mm. All right.
It is an unpleasant fate, to say the least.
All right. Did you hear that? It doesn't sound like a good ending to the story of poor Jasper. If you would ask me. I say we give him a little bit more of a chance.
I don't know that this fits all the criteria. If being sad was one of the parts of it, it turns out he was madly in love.
Hmm?
This Jasper fellow.
I mean, I didn't give you the whole love story when I relayed it. I just said we have to. I'm mostly explaining to the person working there, trying to just give her a guilt trip about this whole business that she's doing,
Gotcha.
and trying
Then
to.
I probably wouldn't have said that then.
Yeah, trying to just doing the whole just with the whole intimidation thing.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand where you're. So, Zamira just, let's just say, like, fine. You want to take him? Take him. I don't know what stupid investigation you're doing down there at the station. Just beware. And she hands you the bottle.
All right.
And whatever happens, you know what? Never mind. Just take it.
I don't mind if I do. Okay.
So you have the spirit bottle.
Did she actually start to say something and then stop?
Of Jasper Van what?
Did she actually start to say something there and then stopped?
Yes. She starts saying, and whatever happens is, you know what? Never mind. That's what I said. Am I still cutting out?
Nope.
No, I can hear you.
Weird.
Okay, good. This tonight's been really weird because I said I and you've cut out about this night, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but so yeah.
Well, all right.
Frustrated, one scared whisper, one spirit bottle, and one demon who's not going to get what he wants.
Well, that hasn't been determined.
That's our
just
count.
yet.
That's our count. What do you do now?
I actually think we should pay Niall a visit and find more about this this whole request.
Yeah, that's I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. So you pay Niall a visit, and who has a contact with Niall?
I think the whole group does.
Crew, yeah, she's the crew contact.
That she is.
She's our positive crew contact, so I'm definitely expecting this to be more like a, hey buddy, so what's going on
Yeah,
here?
so yeah, just checking. So she's like, oh hey, Czar, Terry. Haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to?
Oh, interesting business endeavors.
Fittingly non-specific.
Yeah, we Well, Terry, you probably know more about the situation. You're the one that got the thing that got us started on all of this to begin with.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
Basically asking to have you kind of divulge more of the information about the nature of the request you got.
We heard something funny lately about this one demon named Satera, I think it was. Is that right, Thistle? Satera.
Yeah, that's
You've been a bit of a gopher for him lately, haven't you? Oh wait, why the hell am I still talking this? I'm not trying to intimidate her. I know her. Like, hey, Niall, tell us about Satera. Please be honest with us.
He's a client. I don't discriminate.
All right, that's fair.
Not human or non.
Yeah, we know the whole line. Oh, by the way, everyone, this is Niall. She's a friend of ours. Well, she's a contact. Let's put it that way.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
She kind of looks at you for a bit. She's considering something. You're not sure what.
All right, listen. We know Satera wants a soul. Was it a specific soul that he wanted, or was it any of the wayfarers that went out to sea?
Who is this?
All right, listen. We've got Jasper.
Oh yeah, Jasper.
We've got him. He's here.
No. Oh, you do. Oh, that's brilliant.
He's right here.
I can can I have a look at it?
How well do we know this person?
You're friendly, but it's a very transactional friendliness, if that makes sense.
All right. Right now, look, but don't touch.
Fine. She kind of kneels down. He's like, "How are you doing, Jasper? I've probably been a rough.
What? Can he hear us?
No, just.
Oh.
I don't know.
If souls in bottles can hear us, I've got a lot of embarrassing things that well, I'm gonna end up with egg on my face. I'll just say that.
Don't worry about it. So, yeah, I have a client who is. So yeah, Satera did want this particular soul, or at least one a lot like it. And yeah, he would be a paying client. I can give you a cut of that if you bring me. Of course, I you know me. I always give a cut to people who, well, give me my stock. So, if you would be willing to part with him.
Was hoping to make a different kind of deal.
Okay. What do you have in mind?
Well, it comes back to my original question. Did he ask for this soul in particular, or does he have a shopping list of criteria? So, Thistle, I
let
think
me pull up.
you told me a bit about the kind of soul that he likes in general, don't you?
There's a pattern to this, for certainty.
In the let's see, the method of death, the no, he did name actually came shortly. I found the request shortly after I read the obituary in the papers. But yeah, no, the request did come in by name.
Sorry, what'd you say?
The request was for Jasper by name. But that's not too unusual. Jasper's the whole thing matches Satera's usual requests. I'm sure the method of death was particularly the scene of the death was particularly interesting to him. Always is to soul collectors. The way people die actually has a very profound effect on the soul. And it's probably Jasper's family history too might have had something.
Demons are frustratingly specific, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Side note, I'm gonna have to wrap up pretty quick here.
Okay.
We're at the end of the. If you want, like,
right.
And just like have you do the downtime. We're pretty much
out of character.
Wrapping up the score with how do you have want to resolve this? How do you want to resolve this?
Well, that's the thing. Kind of out of character. My thought was that we see what sort of opportunities there are and try to assess maybe how smart this Florence individual would be, if any spirit bottle would do, or if she's actually able to discern that it's specifically Jasper in there. Because the
weird thing is, when I wrote Florence, I just had the idea that she was just some stupid noblewoman that Terry didn't actually care for. But after being told all that, it's just like I kind of like Terry kind of wants to give her Jasper specifically. So that's what's on his mind. His idea was more like, if the demon wants. Is there something we could give to Satera instead? And it sounds like that would be a difficult thing.
That would probably require us to execute somebody in a very specific way.
Yeah, I was thinking about that and just like, you know what, that probably wouldn't even work.
The only thing I could think is to try to pick a hole in the criteria and find one or more exceptions that would make him actually not a viable candidate for what Satera is looking for. But it sounds good. Like, you know, that's going to be kind of difficult if he was named by specifically. That's why I was bringing up the idea that if, you know, the person has to be, you know, specifically sad or whatever, it's like, well, was he really sad, or is that the one that's going to kind of ruin the fuel?
Well, sorry, it's not sadness what I mentioned. It's, particularly, like, when I say that, I mean, like, Jasper's life was tragically cut short in an accident, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of tragedy will have, and especially that the circumstances will have the kind of mark on Jasper's soul that Cetera is looking for.
Gotcha. Okay.
For his body.
Yeah.
Maybe
I-
especially if he was in love.
Yeah.
I feel like trying to outsmart a demon is probably a fool's errand here. I mean, like, if I were a demon and I wanted a soul with certain criteria and someone was trying to argue with me, no, you don't want this one, it's no good, I would just be like, no, I think I'm going to take it anyway.
The
Also,
other
that Cetera's not going to meet, right?
Yeah.
It works through Niall as a buffer.
Yeah, I'm just, God.
The other approach I had was with the plan to tell Niall that it's going to Florence, but specifically that, like, telling her to tell Cetera, well, if you're looking for it, that's where it's at. And so to receive our payment for that side of things, she's satisfied, but then she's got a demon looking for her. I don't know that's necessarily a better resolution for the city.
Here's my compromise now.
Okay.
I say what I'm gonna plan to do is I'm gonna give Florence the chance to say goodbye. I'm gonna give her some chance. I'm gonna give her some time, and then we'll have to requisition the soul.
It's at least worth a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you meet with Florence. So wait, do you meet with Florence?
Yeah.
So after the meeting with Niall, you talk. Florence. She meets you at the same spot that she hired you. There are right on that border between Bright Hollow and the docks. This is where you see a lot of the nicer ships, to illuminate the dark streets. And she sees you and she asks, "Do you have him?"
Listen, I don't want to get your hopes up. We only have enough time for you to say goodbye, but I do have him.
Can I see him?
Yeah. And I'd show her the bottle.
She kind of takes it. She kind of motions to open it, but then she thinks, she thinks better of it. So we're good. You succeeded. We have him. I can
Listen. I told you this would be dangerous, didn't I?
What?
Didn't I?
What? Yes, you did. What does that matter now?
I had to retrieve a soul today. I'd rather not have to retrieve another from someone I cared about. If you take him with you, you're going to end up in a bottle like this.
What are you talking about?
Hey. You know I know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna roll sway on this one, I think.
Oh yeah, sure. Then roll sway.
Yeah. I'm gonna do another push, and it's gonna be 2 dice. Is this? Would you say this is risky or control or what?
This is not someone who poses a significant threat.
All right. Yeah, this is controlled. And standard effects.
Yeah.
And yep, 0 bonus dice. Oof. Ooh, boy.
Okay.
Ouch.
Then Florence says, "I thought I could trust you.
Yeah.
Take him. I know I can't force you to give it him, but I guess I just expected better." She leaves, and you think you won't be seeing her.
I don't know that the rest of us are there, but I would imagine you probably offered the watch as some consolation.
Oh shit! Yeah, can I have done that as well?
No. I'm gonna say
Ah,
for this particular thing, actually, a few notes.
yeah.
One, I'm not gonna do a retro, right? Like that. That's
Right.
the dice already rolled. B, you can spend stress to resist the consequence.
Okay. To resist consequences, you said?
Yes, which in this case would be you temporarily lose Florence.
Well, I think I'm got a lot of stress. I think I'm just going to temporarily lose Florence, and honestly, um, like, I don't think he would bother. I don't think he would try to resist it either. Terry, he will. He knows that he failed her, and I think he would expect this. You know, I think this is this is what this is not what he expected, but I think he feels is what it deserves.
All right, and actually, sorry. Before Florence leaves, she just says, "Can I at least say goodbye?"
That's why he's here.
She takes him and she just says, "I just want you to know that whatever happens with you, or whether what you are gets dissolved into nothingness, you're still gonna keep living on in me." And she hands him back.
Well, shall we? Should we? Should we do downtime? I think that would take a while. I'm ready to end the scene.
We should do downtime, but like when, you know, we have been at this for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Downtime will probably take another hour to make it a 4-hour session.
Yeah.
If people want to do downtime is probably the easiest thing to do asynchronously.
Okay. I would vote that we if I could vote, I would vote we do it together next time, just so that we get the feel of it.
Okay, fair enough. Also, like next time it could take up the time that was spent on Thistle and Drifter's introductions. So
yeah, we can start with downtime next time. I like that idea.
Yep. So but just to clarify, you sell Jasper to Niall?
Yeah.
Does Florence pay us at all? Like, I feel shit even bringing this up if we get okay.
Niall will pay you.
All right, yeah, we'll get money from Niall.
So the way I'm treating
double
you have
paycheck.
I'm gonna get a little metagamey here. Just say like you essentially have two quest givers here, right? Regardless of you will still so I'm still gonna resolve the score as normal. Just with Niall, Niall giving you your reward instead of Florence.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Ooh, how did you do that circle? Because it's a lot better. You're using lines, right?
Shape tool.
There's a shape tool. If you hold Alt, it does circles.
Right. Fies. Thanks for that. I'll use that. Let me see if I can just shapes.
If you want to get really complicated, I found this guide that explains how to do really nice clocks, or somebody put up nice clocks for sale in the marketplace for like $100 that you can just use.
Ooh, where in the marketplace?
I'll link it to you.
Thanks. So yeah. Also just to wrap up this this episode of the Phantom Ferrymen, you leave Bright Hollow through the bridge to the docks, with Jasper in hand, and well, you wonder what the ramifications of this are going to be. Who's Satara? What is Satara going to get?
Now, hopefully he'll be slightly less angry at us.
Or it's what?
So hopefully he won't be as angry at us as he would have been otherwise.
Yeah, so and that is going to be the end of our second episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming.
That was really fun.
Awesome, guys. I'll see you around.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you later.
Then you
folks.
and have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Everyone watching, thanks for watching. Have a good one.